Hall, which is the centerpiece of the Canada Pavilion. We are right in the middle of the pavilion now. It's an interesting hall, Peter, in that it's been designed on two levels. You see a lot of the artwork and sculpture around the exterior, and it's quite delightful and charming. The Hystar we're looking at now is some of the modern technology. This is a piece of technology that is designed for use in logging, for example. They will be able to take it into difficult areas of access and be able to move heavy pieces of equipment and whatnot around. And it's just some of the technology that's on display. But I was saying that there is a lot of sort of light and airy display going on around you. And at the same time, for the people who are interested in high tech, there are much more detailed displays of it around the exterior and around the hallways of this building, where people can go and spend an hour or two looking at today's technology.
The Hystar, it almost looks like a UFO. It'll be really interesting to see whether this technology bears out, and in fact they do use it for things like you say, transporting those huge logs from different parts of this province and others, because it's always been the idea for the big airship. Even the early blimps, the idea was that they would be using them to transport cargo, to move things around, and it's never really happened. And this is just really, in effect, the latest method of trying to use that technology to move cargo around.
Another one of the theaters, you mentioned the IMAX theater in this building, but another one of the theaters is in the round as well, and it shows you the technology, the work that Canada's doing in space and underwater, and you get a good sense of the kinds of development being done in Canada, and it's part of the reason for the pavilion. That gentleman on the left with the glasses is Bruce Howe. He's the Commissioner General of the Canada Pavilion, and he's explaining, I'm sure, some of the highlights of the pavilion to Prince Charles.
Spectacular sight, and it's obviously caught the attention of both the royal couple and the Prime Minister and his wife as they watch some of the many exhibits that are inside the Canadian Pavilion.
People planning to come to Expo and visit the site and thinking about coming to the Canada Pavilion in particular can expect, I think, to spend at least the better part of a morning or an afternoon here touring this particular pavilion. So the fact that it is set aside and away from the main Expo site is not something that I think is going to worry too many people. They'll be able to come down here and plan a good part of their day right here in this building. Look at this.
That's always the dilemma of touring one of these kinds of fairs. You never seem to set enough time away. These balcony stops to look out over the pavilion area really serve a dual purpose. One for both couples to actually get a good overview shot, but also for the media that is following the royal tour to catch glimpses of the prince and the princess, and of course the Prime Minister and his wife as well. Earlier I was talking about how important this day is for Brian Mulroney, not only the opening of Expo, but his trip later on today to the country of Japan, where he will be a part of the Seven-Nation Economic Summit there. But Expo 86 clearly very important to not only Vancouver and British Columbia, but to the Canadian government as well, and that's why they've sunk so much money into this pavilion. As we await the official party now to travel on to another area in the pavilion, it's a chance to get to listen to some of the thoughts of the Prime Minister about Expo 86. It was just yesterday that the Prime Minister talked with our Mike Duffy about the importance of Expo 86 to Vancouver, even the goose and the beaver. We say goodbye for now, and we look forward to talking to you again in a few hours' time.